Okay, just one little extra thing. Sorry, I had a little bonus thing I had to pass on, which is there's a few extra problems at the end that have a little bit of a review component to it. It's an old algebra trick, and it's what to do when you've got an expression that has a square root in the denominator, something like 4 divided by square root of 2. Um, it's generally considered by especially especially by some teachers bad form, inappropriate, wearing stripes and polka dots, just bad couth to have a square root in the denominator of a fraction, and it's a really easy thing to fix so that you don't have the square root down there. The way you fix it is to multiply. Well, actually, let me say first how you don't fix it. How you don't fix it is you don't just square it. You can't just take a number that you like. Suppose you didn't like the number 7. You say, okay, oh, the answer is x equals 7. Oh, I don't like the number 7. I'm going to square it. So no, my answer is 49. Well, no, you can't change your answer. You can't make your answer something new. And squaring changes a number. So when we transform something, we need to make sure that whatever we do to transform it doesn't change it. And squaring this thing would change what the number was equal to. So instead of squaring it, then we're going to do the next best thing, which is in a fraction, if you want to not change the value, you can multiply the top and the bottom by something that doesn't change what the value, as long as it's the same on the top and the bottom, it won't change the value. Like if you have 2/3 and you multiply the top and the bottom and you get 4/6, that's the same fraction. And so 2/3 and 4/6 are both exactly the same number. It's just written in a different way. So here we go. So what are we going to multiply by? The thing that will cancel out the square root in the bottom is to multiply by the exact same thing as the square root. So we're going to multiply by square root 2. And the top, we have to multiply by the same thing. So in the bottom, we multiply square root 2 times square root 2. And so that's square root 4. In the top, we do 4 times 2 square root of 2, which is 4 times the square root of 2. Can't really do anything with that because one of these has a square root and the other one doesn't. That was an arrow. So let's simplify. So we have 4 times square root of 2. Can't do anything with that. But the bottom, square root of 4, that's just 2. So you notice this square root of 2 times square root of 2 just gives you 2 because you're multiplying it by itself, so you're squaring it, and you're square rooting it, and those things cancel out and give you 2 right back again. Now, how do you simplify this? I've got a 2 down here and a 2 up there. Ooh, that looks good. But this one is square rooted and this one isn't. I can't cancel those. But the 4 is outside. The 4 is free, and so is the 2. So I can reduce the fraction with those two and say it'd be 2 square root 2 over 1, which is just 2 root 2. Boom. You can do this with any square root in the denominator. So just to make another one, we could have something like 12 over square root 3. So once again, we multiply the top and bottom to clear that. So we multiply by square root of 3 because that's going to make it go away. 12 times square root of 3, can't do anything with that. Square root of 3 times the square root of 3, that's square root of 9, which is just 3. A lot of people, they just get used to this, and so they say, I don't need to take that step when I write the square root multiplied and then make it smaller. I can just recognize, oh, square root 2 times square root 2, that gives me 2, and go straight to the end. And so same thing here, square root of 3 times square root of 3 is just 3. Simplify, remember, don't cancel these two, cancel the other ones, and so 12 over 3 is 4 root 3. Sometimes it won't cancel out completely or something. You might have something like, let's take, I'm thinking of a good one. 2 over square root of 6, something like this. So we do our usual trick, root 6. So we get 2 root 6 over 6. And we cancel these out, but it doesn't make it go away completely, but it still makes it a little smaller, square root 6 over 3. And even if I wasn't able to simplify it, this would have been a fine answer, because notice that there's no square root in the denominator, but it's always nice to simplify, so you should whenever you can. And so we get this as our answer. And again, this fraction would be exactly the same as this one. Try it on your calculator and you'll see, even though they look different, they'll give you the exact same number. Same with this one. This looks totally different from this. And you might not think this is any better, but this is just a it's just a tradition that people have, and it's one that doesn't appear to be going away anytime soon. So all you have to do when you have a square root in the denominator is multiply the top and bottom by that square root, then do your simplifying, and in the end, you won't have a square root in the denominator anymore. That's it. I won't talk a long time and go on and chat and stuff and make this video longer. That would be bad.